morning, everyone. I am heading down on this Wednesday morning to Berea to speak later on live on this channel. I will be, actually by the time you see this video, there's a chance that the live stream will have already happened because I have to upload this video. So, at any rate, you can see I'm back in my car. Yay! Took 2 weeks. The service warranty covered almost everything. So, one more reason to buy your service warranties, folks. I mean, it's just a little bit more in your car payment, and it's totally worth it. You can demand to get a service warranty with your used car. Don't buy a used car at a dealership without getting a service warranty. There's too many lemons out there. In the case of my car, it's got the EcoBoost engine in it, and there's been a lot of twin turbo failures with the EcoBoost engine. So just trust me, get you a service warranty when you get a used car. And set yourself up for success. When I was talking about yesterday with Orion for his natural philosophy and physics discussion, which is what physics used to be called, right? Is setting yourself up, setting up the arrangement for success. Now, you can't do it 100% of the time, but hopefully you do it with the things that matter, because a few $1,000s make a big dent in your lifestyle and your happiness for several months. I have decided on the next paper I'm going to write. I am moving this weekend, so it will be difficult to finish it anytime soon. It might take me a few weeks. However, it'll be totally worth it. Its title is going to be Unboxing Atlantis, and I'm going to leave the mystery there. Of course, using the Extended Plasma Electromagnetic Cosmology, EPEMC. And the On the Origins of Religions is done. It's 48 pages. All the citations are in there, 230 of them. And lots of diagrams to look at. Mind-blowing stuff, even for me. I mean, even new glyphs coming up, and I'm going, whoa, here's the missing link in the phase, from here to here. So, take a look at that. At least look at Appendix B. If you want to start, if you're leery of words, start with Appendix B. And, of course, those are found, that and the Investments in Ragnarok are found on the Electric Universe Gateway. Also, Catherine and my new show from Monday is on there, along with a whole bunch of new articles. So, check it out. Ben Davidson did a great series of videos on Earth spots. So, in the recent news, look for the Earth spots, and then there's a new Andrew Hall space news from Thunderbolts up on the Electric Universe Gateway. So, that's the one place to go for all your needs as far as all the science stuff goes. Before I talk about the dreams, I have a plan for us to have a little party. So, what I was thinking, so first of all, May 4th is the Avengers release. So either May 4th or 5th, if people want to go and see the End of the World with a new perspective, the EPEMC discussion about End of the World stuff, and the Mad Titan, it's going to kill us all again, come out and see it with us. And I think what we'll do is afterwards go and get coffee. Now, it's possible that it'll be at the McDonald's because the movie might go late enough to where nothing is really open at that time on that side of town, because I always go to the Fayette Mall movie theater. So, May 4th or 5th, probably May 4th, but it could be May 5th. We'll see if I can wait that long. For my birthday, come see Avengers Infinity War. But also, in May, I'm going to host a wu-tao-di, that's my school's name, wu-tao-di, housewarming, for the little dojo party. In my first floor, I have where the lab's going to go and the dojo, so I want people to come and see it. I will host. We'll have some wine, etc. I'll get one of the students kind of set it up. I think mid-May, something like that. And Catherine and I have been talking about it. We've got an exciting idea planned for doing something at Mount Horeb. If you remember, that's the hinge mound here in Lexington, and it could be really interesting. She's planning to raffle off tickets for her crew, and I am going to invite people who have been either helpful to the paper process or really on it for watching these videos. And so let me know that you've seen this video, and then I'll know that you know about the hinge event. Ooh, that's a neat name, hinge event. So it'll be our feng shui hike for May. We'll actually be here in town in Lexington. Well, not here, because I'm heading to Berea for this speech. Right, which starts at 10:50. I'm going to start streaming at 10:40, and that'll give people time to set, or 10:45ish. I got to get set up, computer or whatnot, and it is the Lost Energetic Technologies. They're not really lost. There's energetic technologies out of Chinese science. All right, metaphysics. I think for the program I've been called a Chinese metaphysical scientist, which is interesting. All right, so Chinese science is not really metaphysics, because metaphysics means that little bit after the physics. What I'm talking about is Chinese science. I might get into some metaphysics, but I don't know how much I would be able to, in an audience, really talk about the secret sciences and the sacred sciences and the supreme sciences. I mean, these things are the roots of those. I do have one quote from the Bible, from Jesus, and so there's a little bit of sacred science there, but it's in the context of talking about so I don't know. I mean, if you wanted to talk about being a metaphysics, that's fine. It's not really, though, at all, because there's something measurable. There's a measurable result. I don't know. I always think that the term metaphysics is used rather in a denigrating fashion for basically anything non-Western, which is biologically, that's what people do. They other people. I mentioned the process of that in the on the origins of religions, all having to do with, well, not just our biology, but what we saw. So, the justification for looking down on others. But the concept of the technology behind it has been around, and it's been around the world. It's been everywhere. So it's not really a metaphysics. It's just a type of science that we haven't spent the money on for whatever reason. There's obviously a lot of invisible stuff we love to spend money on, billions and billions of dollars on things that don't even exist. But there's not a whole lot of research into even though can change your life. Can really literally save your life from robbers and predator animals, predator people, all sorts of things like that. So go figure. What else did I want to talk about this morning? So I've got the paper planning. I've got the party. Oh yes, the dream. Okay, sorry about that. I got off track. So I had one of the most interesting dreams. First of all, I fell asleep while I was studying. The wall. I woke up and the wall was on. I don't even remember, honestly, walking to bed. I know I did at some point get up and walk to bed. Forgot to plug in my phone. And I had two really intense dreams. One was astral, technically, and I was actually giving a treatment to somebody, and I pushed out a way from this woman, and it immediately attacked me. So that was interesting. So I spent a lot of the night, meditating and dealing with things. And I would make some success here, and then a child would stir and cry, and it was wild. But then I had a more interesting dream, I think. And I'll skip all the part with the kind of like a bar restaurant. Ended up in front of these layers of rock. and I took it. Now, I assumed that I was influenced by Andrew Hall's video about ion diffusion and the flaking away of rock material because of the shape of the rocks in the dream, which is sort of similar to some of the layers from the American Southwest. And I was identifying each of the layers as according to the cultures. But instead of it being like the Olmec, Maya, and Aztec, it was the people here. There was an Elegui layer, and an Adena, and a Hopewell layer. And I went down lower, and I was interpreting words from these rocks. Right, the lowest layer was like crumbling down into these black rocks. But the middle layer was really thick. And I was interpreting information from it, and I was translating, and somebody's like, oh, you can read it. I was like, no, I can't read the whole thing because it's too fuzzy. Because a lot of the rock was, I don't know if you've seen limestone, the way it does, but it'll be flat, and then suddenly there will be, actually not really, limestone will do it. And it'll be very rough and pebbly-like. Well, that was the stuff I couldn't read, but when it was straight and flat, I could like read it a long time. It was a very strange dream. So then I turned to the right, and now there's this cave, and there's these two Sumerian, Egyptian, basically chimeras. They weren't sphinxes, but they were standing there, and in their stance they had bowls up in the air, and they were black. And then they caught fire, and then suddenly there was a bulb of purple, yellow plasma. It's now in glow mode. I actually said it's plasma in glow mode. And it was going around them, so they were fully on fire. Not just the bowls, the whole creature. But then somehow I could see behind them, and one of them actually like came down, maybe both, I don't remember exactly, I just remember the one came down and is kneeling, and then it was offering the bowl. And so I told someone to go and get the coffee beans, which were the black rocks. And I said, no, wait, we need to do it from a couple of different places so we can know which one opens it up. So I was being kind of like scientific. Bear in mind, dreams are logical. So, being at all scientific and logical in a dream is, for me, I think it's a benefit. Sometimes I've had to go and take long calculus math tests at universities. I've never attended a class, and I got to show up, and I'm there for the finals. It's really unpleasant type dream. But in this, I was like, go and get, and then we'll open it up. And I remember the distinct feeling that we were just about to start unlocking the secrets of the hope. What I called in my head, I called the Hadena, the Hopewell Hadena. But it's really the Elegui people, right? Which would be the black layer. And I forgot to mention that the other night I had a dream about the spiral shape and the swastika, and there was a square meeting and joining. And it was like the yin-yang, not the swastika, it's the yin-yang. And these were forming together. Probably had to do with me working on the Appendix B a few days ago. But anyways, I feel like we are getting closer to unlocking some really deep stuff. And things that realistically we've not had the opportunity to put together. I feel like we're going to pick up the threads of the research that Velikovsky has done, and that men of Dave Talbot and Eduardo Cardona and Eve Cochran, that their era people have done. That wasn't really done in between. There really weren't any Gen Xers doing this kind of research. And so it's up to us really to keep it going, if you're part of my generation or younger. And we haven't really had anyone, people like Graham Hancock and Andrew Collins. They are from an older generation, and they think differently than we do. Because we've got to show interest in this stuff, otherwise the secrets can be buried again. But I really feel like we're going to get into that cave. Whatever that cave represents, I don't know if it means knowledge or lost technology. I know this, I was meditating on the table, and basically I was delving into my work by meditating while I was getting needled, and a kind of a big voice. It wasn't a booming voice, but a strong voice. It basically said, "You know the mechanism, but not the cause." And it really puzzled me at the time because I took it completely scientifically. And now what I'm understanding it to mean is that I know why the things happen in terms of or how they happen in terms of the planetary discharges and cometary impacts and the sinking of crustal, like the deformation, the things that are going to go in the paper. But there is a greater sacred meaning as to what happened, and it just decoding it with, looking at sacred geometry and Randall Carlson's thing isn't necessarily the full answer. It's like explaining it with mathematics or a computer program, but it doesn't tell you why the computer program was written in the first place, right? I mean, you could know about, for example, the large spying program that Edward Snowden ratted out. And you could know they're spying on us with that program. However, until he informed the public via the movie, if you haven't seen the Snowden movie, you need to see it. Until he informed the public, it wasn't quite understood why the program was created in the first place. And the reason he created it, he's the one who started that program. Then they just beefed it up to a whole new level. They back-hacked it and turned it into something that it wasn't originally meant for. So now he doesn't understand why they did that, and we can speculate all day long, go into the conspiracy theory mode. However, the fact remains, there's the truth behind the truth, and we don't know. Apparently, I don't know at least the cause behind why the planets changed alignment, why there were massive electrical discharges. Certainly, obviously, we have testimony from the ancient past that they felt that they were being punished, that they felt that the flood was due to the evil people. The Sumerians said that Enlil was tired of hearing the great din or noise of the people, and that Enki saved the people by warning them. However, all we can say about that is we must have seen the passing. He must have seen the passing, or the astronomers, the passing of some body. If the Sumerian legends are true, and you can rely at all, even the smallest bit, on the Sitchin translations, that the passing of some black hot Jupiter by the planet Neptune, I would assume, or Saturn, must have disturbed their motions and giving some kind of warning to say, hey, you need to duck and cover for this approaching body. Now the question is, when was that? How often is it going to happen? I mean, Sitchin has his translation and his theories, which are based on something at least, but based on the Sumerian translations. I forget what the number is. It's like 3,597 years. I don't know. I don't even know where we would be in that cycle. I mean, I've unlocked or seen people explain it, but until something imprints on me and I feel concrete about it, I don't consider it really me knowing something. I just consider it that's some more information. It's interesting somebody has that theory that's out there. The fact that there are hot Jupiters that are blacker than charcoal, go search the gateway, look that up. That's a scary idea. Black body radiation not detectable with our modern instruments because you're not going to see it. And so the fact that those exist, that's a little frightening. However, not much you can do about that. So, what is the cause? Is that the cause, or is it a moral cause? Is it that there's some kind of universal program, kind of like the House of Cards effect? You build them and we knock them down? I don't know. I don't have any answers for you. I know that there are a lot of people that feel really despondent. I see comments on the web all the time about overpopulation, about, starting it all again. There's an entire Tool song about Mother Nature is going to set it all right, and see you swimming out in Arizona Bay. There is something inside of us that is wanting something to happen. I don't know that it will be very pleasant. I certainly think it will be very devastating for many people. I used to believe, for example, in getting rid of the Federal Reserve and ending Social Security and things like that, until I realized how many millions of seniors would die because of that, and that although the world is in misery because of the Federal Reserve System and the debt that it is creating, that the elite don't intend to let mankind get away from, it doesn't necessarily mean that I want, the elderly to die. I don't want them to suffer on a mere account of that. And the poor, and especially the third world countries where a lot of these birth control programs are going to be enacted. So, I don't know. I feel like something big is going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know the cause. I can just tell you that the universe is electromagnetic, and that it's full of plasma, and it's moving, and there are more exoplanets. They're estimating there's more exoplanets than there are stars in our own galaxy. And could one of them be a rogue planet, hot Jupiter named Nibiru, Planet X? Yeah, it's quite possible. Another paper that got uploaded to the Gateway, the likelihood or difficulty of discovering a Planet X before it got near. I haven't read the paper yet. You read it, let me know what you think. And let me know what you think in general below. You think it's all all of that's complete bogus nonsense and you got to stay grounded, or you think it's a conspiracy to defraud mankind and keep us from knowing about something? I mean, tell me if you think it's aliens. You think that aliens make up disinformation and get mankind confused? You think the CIA makes up disinformation? I don't know where you are at in the spectrum of, what to believe and how to believe it. So let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. I'm approaching the Berea, so I'm going to stop the video here. I will be going and trying to upload it, and I will then do a live stream a little bit later. These videos might come out about the same time. Who knows? And you have a good day, and God bless.